I'm pleased to be here and have the combined forces of our subcommittee to join together to gain a greater insight on the Iranian threat. For over 30 years, the relationship between Iran and the United States has it's been tenuous at best. Since 1995, the United States has had an embargo with Iran, and this may seem like a long time, post-dating the Red Sox version to the playoffs, but also Iran's sponsorship of terrorist activities against the U.S. and other countries spans that great 3 decades. And as I watch our young men and women return from the battlefield in Iraq and Afghanistan, bearing both the physical and the psychological wounds of war, what angers me the most is their allegations of the extensive collaboration between Iran and some of our most threatening enemies, like the Taliban, Afghan warlords, and al-Qaeda themselves. For this very reason, our foreign policy with Iran should not be a partisan issue. Iran's actions are wrong, and as we focus on their nuclear ambitions, which are incredibly concerning, we cannot turn a blind eye to the Revolutionary Guard's own ambitions to stretch their tentacles even further across the Middle East and perhaps, and I think likely, the Western Hemisphere as well. There's no doubt that following the failed Iranian elections in June of 2010, the Iranian regime has had its legitimacy wounded and their own paranoia has increased. They have called on Islamic extremists in the region to increase their violent posture and yet again have advocated for the annihilation of the Jewish state. And as if this were not enough to worry about, Israel, who's our true democratic ally and trusted friend, Iran's nuclear ambitions are moving swiftly towards the nuclear reality as the world waits with a bit of apprehension. Europe, Israel, and the United States must undoubtedly prepare for a more dangerous Iranian regime in the near term, yet nothing endangers peace more than a refusal to face and accept the facts. So an examination of a way forward with Iran makes sense. Whether Iran's known and speculated alliances with terrorist organizations pose an actual threat to the United States homeland is a question that many have tried to answer. What we do know is that members of the elite Quds and the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps were involved in a plot to assassinate Saudi Arabia's ambassador to the United States. We should ensure that the decision on how to proceed is grounded in the best interest of the United States. According to the complaint filed by the Department of Justice, an Iranian American working on behalf of an Iran-based member of Iran's Quds force attempted to hire a member of the Mexican drug cartel to assassinate the Saudi ambassador of the United States. The cartel member, however, turned out to be an informant for the U.S. Drug Enforcement Agency who tipped off U.S. officials and helped them build a case against perpetrators who were subsequently arrested on September 29th in New York. Therefore, the focus of this hearing rightly belongs on the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, an organization that's been designated as a terrorist organization by the United States, and whether the government of Iran or the entire IRGC had knowledge of the scheme or not. As I alluded to earlier, the evidence exists that the IRGC is playing an active role to undermine Iraq by funneling funds and arms to Shiite militia, engaging directly in military activity, and gathering intelligence. Furthermore, the United States and the European Union both agree that the Quds force are providing equipment and support to help the Syrian regime suppress revolts in Syria. This information alone is a cause for concern. Although I believe President Obama's dual track of engagement and policy has had a profound effect on Iran's capabilities, we must begin to weigh other measures and prepare to counter the evolving threat of Iran. I look forward to this hearing. I look forward to what will be discussed and the ideas coming from our witnesses. and I thank our witnesses for being here today and look forward to hearing their views on how we should counter this threat and exactly how far along the threat lies within our borders. Again, I want to thank the Chairman, the ranking members for being here, and I look forward to the testimony.